Hi, Crafty Nanny Cola here, and if you'd like to know how I made this cute little Coraline Button Box with this cute little bow top, just stick around and I'll show you. Okay, what you'll need for this project is the template. I will put that in the description box. A 5x5 piece of light felt pink, a 5x5 piece of cardboard, glue gun, fabric scissors, ruler, paper scissors, pencil, 6-sided box, which I got on Amazon. Link I will put in the description. You will need velvet ribbon in red, or any red ribbon will do. This is 1.5 inches. You might want to go only 1 inch. This is a little bit wider, but that's all I could find, I suppose, at the time. And blue paint. And this I just something I got at Walmart. Paintbrush, bowl to put the paint in. Buttons, and I got these at Walmart. They are 7/8 inch buttons. You might want to get 2 if you're making more than 1, because that'll even it out at 6, and you'll have 2 for each box. One of these plastic needles. A small spool of thread, which you get in the sewing kits. And 1/4 inch tape is what I used for the stripes on the box. And you might also want to have some Mod Podge on hand. This stuff. Mod Podge, because that will help keep that tape on. So I did Mod Podge mine after I finished them. So the first thing you want to do is pour your paint into the bowl. And then get your box. And you are going to paint the whole box inside and out. So just take the box, and I would start with the inside. You're probably going to have to do this in stages and let it dry. But you can work on some of the other things like the templates and stuff, cutting out the cardboard and stuff. And you also, depending on the paint, might have to do 2 coats. So just start by painting the box. Lighting is weird in here. And the box is made out of paper mache, so it's going to eat up the paint. You don't have to paint the bottom if you want, but it doesn't hurt to get it there, because that's all going to be covered up anyways with the template that you make for the little cushion to keep the eyes and the buttons and the needle and thread on. So just get that all painted, and then go ahead and let that set aside. Oh, and there's something at the bottom too, so that probably needs to come off of the box. There, a little label. Okay, and then just same thing with your top. So just go ahead and paint the inside. And you do want to paint the inside of this. So get in those corners good and stuff. Take your template and set it on your cardboard. You can set it in the middle or wherever, you know, depending if you want to keep the other. There isn't much left on a 5x5. So then you just want to take your pencil and just go around the whole thing. I start with the sides first. And it doesn't matter if you go over a little bit with your sides, because you're going to be cutting it anyways. And then just go over all your tops. And I always place it so that the one that is straight will go on either side of that 5 inches. I think that's all of them. No, here's one here yet. And then I find the easiest, you know, to cut it is go ahead and cut it out. Don't forget to recycle most of your cardboard. And so I go around and I cut these sides first. The other thing you might need is a little bit of stuffing. I did put stuffing at the bottom. I kind of glued it in there to hold this cardboard up to make sure that it didn't cave in. Just going to take this cardboard out of the way quick. Okay, and then just mark your fold lines. The easiest way to do that is to take a ruler and just line the ruler up just above. So you can mark the lines, or you can just, if you want, or I just marked them for your information, or you can just go ahead and take the ruler. And I find going off the table, I don't know if it's just because my table has a rough edge on it, because these are those inexpensive tables you buy, and then I just lift it up like this. And this is for I believe the box was 12.5 inches around. It'll say what each box is, but I believe this was the middle box. The ones that I made for my granddaughter's baby shower 2 years ago were all the same size, and they were all this size, and they worked out great, but they no longer have those on there. I'm going to try AliExpress, see if they maybe have them on there, but they did not have them on Amazon anymore. So I had to buy these, and they're nested. I didn't even realize it when I bought them, but they are nested, so you would have to make your own template for any of the other sizes you want to use. So in there you have your little box. And that's going to go inside. It's going to fit inside of there, inside of the box. So it'll fit in there. And then you're going to cut your felt the size of this. So just take the pencil . And because although it's a template, each one may be just a little bit different. So I would cut on the outside of that. It didn't show up very well there, but I would cut on the outside of it. So I cut around that, I cut around the a piece of felt, and I did use the heavier felt. I make poodle skirts, so I use the heavier felt that you buy on the bolt rather than the thinner felt, but it's the thinner felt is fine too. So this is going to be a little big, but I'd rather have it be too big right now, and then we can adjust it. And you'll want to put, when you put it on there, the side that you penciled on or did your markings with whatever you marked, you probably want to put that down. So that's 2 parts of it there. So now you would just have to go on to painting, finish the painting until it dries. Okay, we're going to start with the lid and the sticky tape. So this is 2 inches across. So measure it with your ruler and then mark at the 1 inch spot on both sides. And then take your tape and go ahead and put it from one side to the other. Now you can either stop in the corner on the inside of the box, or you can go all the way across with it. And just make sure that you stop in a corner. Even if you go across, you want to make sure that it's in the corner. So I'm only going to put it on mine. I just want it to the lid box right here inside. So I'm going to put both sides on there. And this is one of the reasons why, because this tape is sticky, but it's not really sticky. So you want to really get it on there. Use your fingers to really get it on there good. And then go ahead and cut it, or go across if that's what you're going to do. This is probably the most time consuming of the whole thing, trying to get these tapes to stick. So just take anything that you have and try to get that down. And then I'm just going to go into the corner with the smaller scissors. If you have smaller scissors, that'll probably help a lot. And then just really hold that down well. Okay, the next tape, I'm going to go from this corner to this corner. So do the same thing. We won't need to mark this because you already have the corner as the guide. So just put it so it's right on that corner. Now, if you know a better tape that might stick better, that's fine. I will put this in the description. But if you know a better tape, that's fine. So make sure that you get this right along the corner there. See how that, right there. I don't really know if it'll stick any better if you go all the way across. You might try it and see. Maybe we'll do that here and see if that sticks better. Like sticking, then that way it would stick to the other tape on the other side, and maybe that would work better. Let's try it. It does want to wrinkle up a little bit, but maybe that would work better. So these sides are a little bit trickier. So you want to kind of go so you just have a little bit of the edge showing out, just so it looks like you've got the stripe somewhat even there. So just go towards the end, and you just want to take a small piece, and you just want it barely over the edge. And then just cut it. So just barely over the edge. That's probably even too far. See, I even have, you can see the little bit of sticking out there. It's really hard to do that part, but you can push it in there a little bit. Okay, so then you want to take, and these are going to be small pieces, and we're not going across on this one inside. So you're just going to take another small piece, kind of measure it there, and you want to do it flat. So now you're just going to do it from the flat side and try to get it as even as possible. So there, like that. So see, the sides are straight down. And then just kind of eyeball it and cut it off. And just get that in there good. That side turned out a little better. So it looks like the shorter you cut it towards this, the better off you are with the tape. I know I had trouble with this when I made the other ones. So this seems to be the best way to do it. So try to get it right there even, so you don't get that point. And just scoot it underneath there. Yeah, that side went a lot better. So you have that little, like this on the side. So you're not going to see that very much anyways, that people are going to pay that much attention to it. Try to get it down all the way. I didn't quite get it down all the way here. So, okay, so far, there you go. There's the box so far. So now this is a little bit tricky too, because now you want to try to match these in with the top. So you're going to take the tape, and again, we're going to start in the middle and take some extra so that you know that it's going to go down. So you need that extra to go down there, so you're going where you're going to meet the other end, and just take the box and take it off of there, lift your lid, and straighten all that out nice. And now you can go all the way across the bottom if you want. There's actually, when you send for this tape, there's a lot of the tape. So like I said, you can either go all the way that, or you can cut it off at the bottom. I think I'm going to go all the way because I did have problems. What I had problems with was the tape coming off right here at the bottom, because when you're cutting it, it's really hard to cut it there at the bottom. So to get it nice and straight here without taking your paint off. So now I'm going to turn this, put your lid back on. Okay, so see, it's a little bit off on this side, so we want to make sure. Okay, so there it is. And then we want to do the same thing on this side. So the box does move a little bit. It's a little bit bigger. So that's another reason. So hold it on the front and go ahead and bring it up so that it matches in with the other. So it's not going to hurt to stay on that tape for a minute. Move that over just a drop. Check the other side. It looks pretty even. Actually, it looks like this maybe at the bottom went off a little bit, so I'm going to go just back. It's good at the top, but this tape is real forgiving, so just going to move it over a little bit. There we go. This is why the tape probably doesn't stick quite as well as it could, and why I put the Mod Podge over it. So just move your tape. That's why I would suggest that you do use this tape. And then lift your lid. And use your finger and get it down really well. And again, you can go wherever you want at the bottom. It's not going to show anyway, so if you want to put it over, that's fine. See? So just get that down good. Go over it again. And then go ahead and put your lid back on. And that looks pretty good. Okay, now we're going to repeat that. And it should come out fine if you just go along the line here. I'm just going to stick it in the... Okay, so you want to get it right along the line of the box. And we'll check it in a minute to make sure that it fits, that it's looking right for the top. So like I said, this is the most time-consuming, basically, of the whole project. And if you're using younger eyes, you'll probably do a lot better anyways with the darkness, because it's dark inside of the box. Okay, let's run it right along there. The box doesn't seem like it's exactly even. I'll run it from there to the other side. Okay, now let's try our lid on. there's, like I said, there's a way, it's funny how this goes, and I noticed that when I was doing the other boxes. It's like a one-way thing. So see? So even though we have them even on both sides, the box is just enough off. See that it moves? So that looks pretty good. So if you go right down that line, you're probably going to be fine. Now let's see if it'll work on the other side also. Just lift that. And let's try again. Okay. So it looks pretty good on that side. A little bit uneven on this side, but that's mostly because the box keeps going back and forth. So now repeat that with this part, with the other part. Do the same thing. Piece of tape on the lid and on the box so I could get the front straight. And then I measured down with the tape from here. And now it goes over. I pushed it on the bottom and went over. And it'll make a new stripe here. So now we want to go ahead and we can start on this side. And so leave enough again and measure that in. Leave plenty. Remember, you're not going to see the bottom inside the box. So get that as close as you can to the lid. And then take your lid off. I'm just going to throw that lid back on for a minute again and see if we... Where's my tape? There it is. Okay. Yeah, it looks pretty close. Okay, it looks like it's a little bit crooked at the bottom here, so I'm just going to... It's good at the top, so I'm just going to... Make sure you take it down good inside so it doesn't come back up while you're trying to put the tape on. And get it good at the bottom. And just make your new one. And remember, there's nothing on the lid here, so... Okay, and just... And this piece you're seeing here is that piece that I put on from the top to mark the front. Okay, then we have left this one. Okay, now we're going to do the same thing here. Just kind of match that in. Match it to the top, and then we'll straighten it at the bottom. If the tape moves a little bit, just go ahead and find your front again and put it back on. Yeah, and the tape is good. I'm looking at the wrong one there. Okay, here we go. Okay, yeah, it got over just a little bit. So it just needs, this just needs to go over a little bit that way. And if you're very particular about it being straight like that, then just keep working it and making sure that you got it in the right spot. Still not quite in the right spot. And definitely if you're going to sell it, you probably want to be a little bit more particular. Okay, let's try that again. And that part came off, so I'm going to have to put that back on. So if your tape comes off, just go ahead and stick it back on. Like I said, this is the trickiest part. There we go. Okay, so we're just going to go straight to the other side. Try to eyeball it to make sure that it's as straight as possible. And then cut a goodly piece off again. Okay, then you have one left here, so you're going to go down this one. This one probably could have been over a little bit farther, and I may move that in a minute, but right now let's go ahead and do this one. Get that lid on nice and straight. And straight over to the other side. And just again eyeball it. And then push down good with your fingers. I'm just going to put this over it so it doesn't catch. Okay, and then at this point you can decide if you want to move anything. This one's a little bit crooked, so I'm going to go under there with my little spatula and lift that up. So just fix anything that's crooked at this point. Okay, now at this point, if you want to, you can put a small piece of tape going to the inside and like cut it off right here, but I don't think that looks right. You can go ahead and go over there too and put another piece if you want. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to leave the stripes at the bottom because it's not probably going to stay on very well anyways. Now at this point also, if you want to do your Mod Podge, then you would Mod Podge it right now. Now you can put the tape aside, and I'm not going to Mod Podge it right now. I may do that later. So I won't. You will be gluing it in when you're done, but I'm not going to glue it in right now. So I'm going to start by putting some fiberfill. Now you can use other things too if you don't have fiberfill. If you're a quilter, you can use some quilt batting. You can use foam like of the consistency of a pool noodle that is flat. You can cut that. You can cut bubble wrap for the bottom. You don't need too much. You just want to get something in there to give it a little so that your whatever you want to call it, insert, I guess would be the best word. Your insert doesn't cave in, so that you have something stable underneath it. So yes, in case I decide to Mod Podge mine later, so I'm not going to do that right now. Okay, so then you just put your insert in, and see. And then this you would glue in, and see, even though I cut it bigger, it fits in there perfectly. So that's how you do that part. So once again, I'll try to get it out of there. Okay. So whatever you're going to put inside of here, actually glue it in there. Glue it to the bottom. Put it in there. Put your insert in. Put in your felt, and you'll also glue that in. You might want to glue that in with something else. I think it needs a little bit more right there on this. So I'm going to lift that up. It's caving in a little bit over on this side, so I'll put a little bit more in on that side. The rest look pretty good. There we go. Okay, so then your next step is going to be, you're just going to, again, find your front. And this is my front. Okay, so I've got that piece of tape on there, so I've got it marked in the front. And I also wanted to put this the other way so you don't see the pencil marks. So like I said, that will be glued in, so you can do that either with the glue gun or you can do it with another kind of glue. Okay, so you've got that all in there. Okay, our next step is going to be our velvet ribbon. So you're going to want to glue this in. Make sure it's straight at the edge. So find your front again. And you're going to glue that in. And you're just going to come all the way around. So I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of glue on my ribbon. Cooper, quit. My dog doesn't like to stop barking. He thinks the mailman's coming. He also pees on the floor, so he has a little contraption I had to make up for him. Cooper's not a very good dog most of the time. But he is a cute dog. Right, Cooper? Crazy Cooper? So you're going to glue that in there. And you can just put it, you know, in the bottom. Because you're not going to see that anyways, again. And you're going to go all the way around to the other side. So go ahead and kind of measure that so you can cut that off. And you're going to have, hopefully you can see that. So maybe glue the sides first because the it was wanting to stick there. You want to get that straight in between these two, and I'm not doing a very good job of that. Cooper, quit. Okay, so right between those two is where you want to get it. Yeah, this little spatula comes in handy for a lot of things. And then just a little bit at the bottom there. And just get that in there good. And if you got glue on, like I get glue on everything, which is why I seldom use glue. Okay, now let's put our, you can glue this in. I'm not going to do it yet because I'll probably Mod Podge this later. And you can Mod Podge right over the ribbon too. It just makes it stiff. Okay, so put your insert in after you put whatever you decide to use on the bottom of it. I said you can use many things. Like I said, quilting, batting works well. Or foam, the consistency of a pool noodle, and bubble wrap. Okay, then remember, so you can see the pencil marks a little bit on this side, so I'm going on this side. That is there, or why that is there. I might want a little bit more stuffing still in there. Okay, so that's the inside of the box, and then the next step is, okay, so we're going to do 2 buttons for the eyes, and then the thread will look like the nose, so we don't need that extra button. And then you just take the needle. You actually can take the thread if you want, and you can unthread it a little bit and thread the needle if you would like. So you can take the thread. I'm not crazy about this thread. I've used up most of the thread, so I probably will get some other colors of thread. And these are hard to get out of here. And it doesn't want to come out right now, so I'm not going to waste your time. So you want to glue that, and then you want to just glue your needle in there. And you'll probably have to slant the needle a little bit because they are pretty long. So try to get it in between the 2 points there. There you go. Okay, and then decide which is your top or your front again. I know that's my front of my lid, but so you probably want to measure to make sure that your thread is going to fit before you put your insert in. So it may be a little bit longer here or something that I... So put the lid on. And then your next step is going to be to put the velvet ribbon on the top. So you're going to do the same thing. You're going to, I'm going to take my off. And again, cut this straight. So we're going to want to measure the ribbon inside. So probably in a corner would be best. And then you're just going to want to take the ribbon and glue that also. Wish I could figure out a way to sew it in there, but I don't have that. Okay, and then I'm just going to cut that. Okay, so then we're going to do the same thing, and I'm going to glue the top first so I get it in the middle, and I'm going to glue it right on the box. Didn't work so well on the ribbon, I don't think. So glue it on the box. I hope I'm not mumbling, but I'll put the closed captions on because I do tend to mumble, I guess. Okay, and then I'm just gonna get that straight on there. So try to get it as even as you possible between the two stripes. Let it dry for a minute. Okay, then just a little bit here. Now that you can see you'll know where it goes. And then onto the box inside, onto the side box. And if you do have a really hot glue gun like I do, I'd use something. I'd use something to push the glue down. And I'm just gonna put some glue there. And keep that, try to keep that too in the middle. Of course, I've got to get glue on the outside. That's me and gluing. Should grab my little finger things right here. And then same thing on the other side. Let's put a new glue stick in. Okay, I don't know what it's doing here. It doesn't want to go in there. There we go. And then just a little bit of glue there. A little bit of glue here. I forgot to put it there. I thought I already did that part. So make sure you match that in there. And it's not too bad. It looks like it's pretty... Sorry, I had that in front of there. So we've marked this all the way down. So hopefully it all matches in. So, like I said, I didn't glue this in yet. Okay, so then put it back on, see which one's the best. It's going to fit on a lot tighter once you get, especially with that velvet ribbon. See if those stripes match up, and that's the way you want it on. Okay, then our next is to make the bow, and it's a fairly simple bow. So just leave the ribbon on there, and you don't need a lot, so you don't need it too big. And we'll do the ends afterwards, so you just want to make however you want to make a bow. I like to make them like that. This is a big, big bow. You can make it as big or as little as you want. I'm going to cut this. I don't need it quite that big, so I'm going to cut the ends here. And then you can glue if you want the bow together. I am going to probably sew it. So I'll get back to you. Okay, to sew the bow, I'm going to take, I've got red thread. So I'm just going to tie it in the back here. You're not going to see the back anyways. And then I'm going to take up my loop. And I'm going to come through the middle. Hopefully that's the middle. And I'm going to wind the thread around. Hopefully you can see this. So I'm going to wind the thread around. And I'm going to come back around and pinch that whole inside together. And then I'm going to wind it around again. And then I'm going to come back through the middle. So pull that nice and tight so you have a nice bow. Come back through the middle. And I always keep these handy to pull thread through. There you go. And you've got a cute little bow. Now you can do that with glue somehow, I'm sure, if you want to, but I find it quicker and easier. I mean, that took, what, 30 seconds? And then just tie it off in the back. And through the loop. And I always double tie it. Cut that off. And then from here, if you want, you can tie a middle around it. This is probably way too big, but you can take and half it around like this if you want a really fancy bow. And pull it back down. And that makes a really pretty bow. And so you're really fancy there. I'd cut it in half, but I think it'll ravel, so I would fold it in half so that you have the ends in if you're going to do that. And that you could glue if you wanted. Oh, I'm sorry. This is the. Make sure you get it on the back. Sorry, I'm still learning to do those videos. I keep putting everything in front of you. Sorry. So I'm going to stick a pin in here for a minute. Actually, I'm going to use these clips from Dollar Tree. That'd be easier. There. And then that way I know kind of where to cut it off a little bit. Okay, so now we'll just take a drop of that glue, put it in the front. And put this right on top of that. Run a little bit of really light glue down this. We don't want any clumps. Just enough to hold it. And then make your bow come out like that. See? God, I just put it right in front again. Excuse me. And then just hold that down. Let that dry good. I'm actually going to put my... Leave that for a minute. And we'll just be going through and gluing that over to here. if I was doing this myself, I probably would have sewn that also. Okay, and check your front. I want that a little tighter yet. And go ahead and get your glue. And just hold that down. And again, these clips come in so handy for holding glue. Works great on Mickey ears too. And while you're waiting for that to dry, go ahead and do whichever way you're going to do. If you want it this way or you want it this way. So if you want the longer on the outside, then you need to cut it from this way, from this way. Make sure you have a nice sharp scissors to do that. Okay, so we're going to go. And there you have a really cute little bow. And then again, decide which is your front. I'm going to go this way, seeing I got a little glue on the back. Decide which looks best. And then just glue your bow on. And there you have your Coraline box. I usually don't use the velvet. I didn't have the velvet the last time. That does make it very snug. There you go. Your little thread down here. And your little needle. And then just put your little lid on. And there's your Coraline box. Ready for any Coraline lover. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it helps you make a Coraline box if you are a Coraline fan. And I hope everyone stays safe. If you'd like to see more of these videos, please subscribe, give me a like, and share it with your friends. Have a wonderful rest of the day.